Achieving financial success takes dedication, discipline, and most importantly, a plan. For over 30 years, Don Reynolds has helped savers define their needs, formulate their plans, and achieve their goals. From accumulation to preservation and protection, and through the income distribution phase in retirement, implementing the right strategies makes all the difference. Your retirement is our business. Welcome to Strategic Asset Preservation.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Reynolds Wrap. Of course, joining me, my good friend Corey and business partner. And today we're going to talk about, and people may have heard us say lazy money, okay? Mm-hmm. But right now is the absolute worst time to have your money being lazy, folks, okay?
Absolutely.
You got to do something. And I guess what I mean by that, and here's a perfect example. I had a client this morning, had a meeting, and we're just talking about everything, going through stuff. And I said, so, I know you're sitting on cash. What are you sitting on? I probably got 150 grand in the savings account. And I just kind of shook my head and I said, okay, that's what you call lazy money. I said, your money's working even less harder than you are, and you're retired. And he kind of looked at me. It took him a minute to pick up on that one. And I said, and all we're saying, folks, is we implore you to start looking around to get your money growing, because rates are good today, comparatively speaking, to a year or 2 years ago. I mean, they're great.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
we got three times as high as 2 years ago.
They absolutely are. I mean, we got rates, depending on what it is, fixed rates, you can get 6% guaranteed for 5 years. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there that's completely different than it was even 6 months ago.
Yeah. And that's the key there, folks, is when we talk lazy money, the silver lining in the cloud of this high interest rate environment that we are in is not, the debt. Obviously, if you have debt, it's concerning because you're paying a higher interest rate on your debt or your borrowed money. But again, those are of us that have cash around, those of us that have safe money around, that we don't want at risk. We think in the bank and just in a savings account is really our only option. And we really implore you to seek out all the options available to you and look at what these high interest rate environments mean for some of that safe money, quote unquote. Because if you don't do that, if you don't look for an aggressive, safe money, high interest yield on your money, you're falling behind with what we call purchasing power. Yeah. And that's where inflation will eat up what your safe money is if you're not having an interest rate that keeps up or ahead of inflation.
Absolutely. And, here's another good point. We talk about MIGAs. Most people know what they are. They're multi-year guaranteed annuities. And you can get them for 1 year, 3 year, 5 years, whatever the term you want. Mm-hmm. And I guess I always like to talk about advantage and disadvantage. Advantage to a bank? Well, I don't know that there is one, to be honest, because obviously there's a lot of banks on watch lists right now. People are a little concerned. Now, I think that might be easing, but again, you never know. Mm-hmm. But the point is if you're a taxpayer, which most of us are, and especially the clients and people in retirement, and you put, that $100,000 in a CD at 5%, which, don't get me wrong, that's not a bad return. But if you're in the 30% bracket between state and federal, what's your net there? Because remember, you're going to give 30% of that $5,000 to the IRS, where you could turn around and put that into a non-qualified fixed annuity. So it's just like the CD, only it's held in trust at the insurance company. Yep. And now you do not have to claim that interest on your tax return, folks. Yep. So again, that's going to help you stay ahead of what Corey just talked about, the inflation thing, So again, we just want to make sure we're imploring to you folks to be looking.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And if nothing is a terrible plan.
And if you got questions or you don't know where to start, feel free to give us a call, 651-773-3859. And we'll be honored and blessed to help you out, give you some ideas, give you some thoughts, have you in for a meeting, a discovery meeting, and show you some examples, show you some of what we're talking about. And again, talk about the tax piece of it, because that is a great piece that Don always brings up. And I just love that, is that as you have to look at the 1099 dividends and interest forms that you will get under certain investments, and what will that mean to your taxes? So what is your net, of course, effective return on that investment? So again, give us a call if you have questions. We'd be honored to start with you, give you some advice, give you some thoughts. Whether you're a client or a listener, we'd be honored to help you. 651-773-3859.
Awesome. So with that, we just want to, share what we know is a lot different today. And that's why we wanted to talk about this today. We just think it's important because we know there's a lot of people just kind of doing nothing. And again, that's just a terrible idea, especially in the new interest rate environment. you got to have your money working harder than you are, so to speak, or at least have your money working for you.
Well, we don't know how long it'll stay around either.
That's for sure.
This is strike while the iron's hot. I know a lot of us have heard that coined phrase for a long time, and right now we've got what we've got, and we may not have that in a year from now, or 6 months from now, or 2 years from now. So lock in while you can, and if you have the opportunities, you said let's take advantage of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, with that, we want to thank all of our listeners. We sure appreciate you out there, and you all take good care, and we'll look forward to talking with you next time.
Yeah. Take care, folks. Thanks.
Have a great day.
Listen to more with Don Reynolds and Corey Still on the Strategic Asset Preservation Podcast by visiting 800preserve.com.
The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only, without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for a particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature and not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs. Early withdrawals may subject the owner to penalties, fees, or taxes.
Fiduciary duty extends solely to investment advisory advice and does not extend to other activities such as insurance or broker-dealer services. Advisory clients are charged a quarterly fee for assets under management, while insurance products pay a commission, which may result in a conflict of interest regarding compensation.
Advisory services offered through Brookstone Capital Management, a registered investment advisor.